Hi, my name is Jamie McConnell, and today I'm going to be presenting on BMW's Dream Factory and the culture. So to start, BMW is a German automobile, motorcycle, and engine manufacturing company. BMW was originally founded in 1916 by Rapp Motorwerk, an aircraft engine manufacturer. Just a little overview of BMW. The industry is obviously automobile. It was founded in March 7th of 1916. There was a couple different founders. It was Franz Pope, Karl Rapp, and Camillo Castagani. The headquarters were in Munich, Bavaria, and Germany. The area served was worldwide, and the products were luxury vehicles, sports cars, and then eventually motorcycles and bicycles. The slogan was sheer driving pleasure. Okay, and just a little history of BMW as a company. After the end of World War I in 1918, BMW was forced to cease aircraft engine production, which is what they originally began producing, because of the terms of the Versailles Armistice Treaty, and that was after World War I. And then to maintain business, BMW produced farm equipment, household items, and railroad brakes just to try to stay afloat. Okay, a little bit more history. As the restrictors of the treaty began to be lifted, BMW began the production of motorcycles, which was in 1923. BMW's production of automobiles began in 1928 when the company purchased the Automobile Work Car Company. Okay, a little more overview of BMW. BMW's mission statement: we will sell our products with the highest quality and integrity. BMW's vision, the current vision, is to treat the customers like family, and that's an acronym, and the different letters mean different things. So F stands for family treatment, A stands for attitude, M stands for more than the customer expects, I stands for individual attention and enthusiasm, L stands for like an honored guest, and Y stands for make a difference. And that's pretty exceptional for that to be like the customers, but they also treat it like their employees just the same way. Okay, so a little analysis of BMW. To start, we're going to go over the strengths. So the strengths, just the BMW group as a whole. The name is just world-renowned. And then we have innovation and technological advancement, renowned brand and automobile industry, the workforce, product portfolio, all the Asian markets, and plans for hybrid models. Okay, so next I'd like to discuss the weaknesses. So the weaknesses where they had some cars recalled, strategic alliances, younger generation less brand conscious, and then next the opportunities. So the opportunities that they can go from the strengths and weaknesses are going to be increasing product portfolio, changing lifestyle and customer groups, and market expansion. Okay, and then they have some competition. So rival Audi is narrowing the gap with BMW in Europe by producing a new generation of stylish, high-performance cars that they have already topped consumer polls. Toyota's Lexus also has BMW in its sights as it makes a move to gain Europe with a sportier, better handling cars. Rutherford, which is the one of the main leaders of BMW at this time, comments and says, "We will be challenged, no question. We have to take Lexus seriously." Alrighty, so the culture is what we're going to go over next. Much of BMW's success stems from entrepreneurial culture. That's rare in corporate Germany. Management in Germany is usually top-down, meaning the top-tier chief of executives makes all the decisions in the workplace. So it kind of starts with the higher up, and it trickles down to the very lower. BMW actually reverses that, so they like to take opinions from even the lowest level and work their way up to the top level. They kind of take opinions from everyone, and I'll get a little more into that. This means the top-tier chief executive makes all decisions in the workplace. That's the other one, the top-down. This is more commonly termed as autocratic leadership, which is the opposite of what BMW strives to be. BMW's 100,000 employees have become a network of committed associates with few hierarchical barriers to hinder innovation. Individuals from all levels work side by side on the assembly line and just in meetings and things like that. They create informal networks where even the most unorthodox ideas can be thought of making better cars or boosting profit. Referencing Chapter 9, workers on the production line are using intercommunication to bounce ideas off each other to result in the best possible products. BMW's management is brilliant for allowing this to happen in their company. Not only are they getting thousands of new ideas, but they're also giving employees a sense of pride and kind of coming to work to do more than just their job and go home and get a paycheck. So they're kind of feeling like they're a part of the company and they're making decisions as the company. This is an example of referent power as well, the whole sense of pride that they're getting within the company. Referent power is referenced in Chapter 10 of our textbook, and it's defined as an individual's ability to influence others because they respect, admire, or like the person. So that's referencing to the leadership. The employees respect the leadership, so in turn they will work to better the company and not just come to work for the paycheck. The quote referenced in the article describes this well. The difference at BMW is that managers don't think that we have all the right answers. Our job is to ask the right questions. So once again, they're just kind of bouncing ideas off their employees, getting the knowledge of everyone as a whole. It's not just one person making all the decisions. So just like any company, they have had fails. So in 2001, they launched an iDrive control system. And the iDrive control system was supposed to be a device that was developed to have drivers quickly switch back between, a whole bunch of different things instead of having to use the usual control panel. You could do it right here by your little gear shift. Unfortunately, this as a whole was not didn't work out. It proved incomprehensible to many buyers, and as a whole, it failed. So it was a waste of money. Okay, and then BMW's biggest fail within the past about 100 years was in 1959, BMW nearly went bankrupt. New hires quickly learned that BMW world as they know it began in 1959. That's when the company nearly went bankrupt and was just a step away from being acquired by Mercedes. Rutherford states, "We never forget 1959. It's in our genes and it drives our performance. BMW wouldn't exist today if it weren't for the bailout of Germany's wealthy Quadrant family, which is still the controlling shareholder. They control 47% of the stock currently. Near-death experiences are healthy for the company, and they just kind of make you strive to continue to be better. BMW has been running on this kind of scared policy for years so that they don't ever kind of get to a resting place. Okay, so one of their newer kind of ideas is motivated workers equals better cars. So you can see here I went over profit sharing. So profit sharing is going to be kind of this idea with the pizza. Everybody gets a piece of it. So that's going to have the employees become flexible, but it's also going to have flexible hours, meaning the employees could have to work longer, more hours, kind of be flexible, I guess. And then high job security, because they're getting the piece of the pie, they're going to want to stay there, and it's going to increase the number of jobs. So in 1972, BMW introduced profit sharing to all employees. It set up a plan that distributes as much as 1.5 months extra pay at the end of the year, provided that BMW meets the financial targets. In return, employees must be flexible. So that's what I stated here. When a plant is introducing new technology or needs a volume boost, it is not uncommon for associates from other BMW factories to move into temporary housing for months at a time. And they also have to put long hours in on the line, meaning they're working overtime without extra pay at the time, but then you'll get the extra pay at the end of the year. The company can increase the production schedule to as much as 140 hours a week. So that would be about 20 hours a day for 7 days a week. But then it can also be as little as 40, 50 hours a week, which is, the normal work day for most of us, but I guess for them it is not. The system enables BMW to provide a high level of job security. Since 2000, BMW has hired new associates even more than General Motors, Chrysler, Ford. They've all had to slash jobs, so they must be doing something right. Alright, so a little about the hiring process, because this number kind of just shocked me. BMW's Human Resource Department receives more than 200,000 applications annually. Those who make it into the interview undergo an elaborate day-long drills and teams to kind of screen out the big egos, because they have no place in this company. For the lucky few who are hired, our Darwinian test of survival is ensued. BMW promotes talented managers rapidly with little training, because they kind of don't want to like train you as a robot. They want you to kind of learn the ropes on your own and kind of establish your own way of leading. They would like managers to stay humble and work closely with subordinates and their peers, so kind of bounce ideas off of each other. This minimizes traditional corporate turf battles. Okay, and this is just a quote that was included in the article that I thought was interesting. You can go in fighting mode, or you can ask for permission and get everyone to support you. If you do it without building ties, you will be blocked. So anyone who wants to push an innovative new idea learns the key to success fast. Stefan Kraus, which is BMW's chief financial officer, he's the one that says this quote, and in that he's just trying to say, you can either fight against everybody and kind of get the get nobody to back you up, or you can kind of throw the idea out there and get everybody to work with you and be a lot more successful in the company and with your own idea. Okay, so the work environment. Let's see. When the plant manager, Clausen, first proposed a competition to lure top architects, executives at headquarters were taken back. People were saying, "What's wrong with these guys in Lopez? We don't need beautiful buildings, we need productive buildings." Clausen convinced Kraus and others that the unconditional approach wouldn't just produce a pretty factory, but one whose open, airy spaces would allow more open communication between the different departments. Kron was a 27-year-old engineer when he was asked to come up with a flexible assembly line for the factory. Kron, then just a junior associate, contacted BMW's top 15 engineer associates, and he kind of brought them all together to the Australian Alps. And after a series of marathon sessions that included discussions of every facet of the ideal assembly line, he kind of sketched an idea of like what they call 4 fingers or 4 branches off of one main stem. The branches could extend to add additional equipment down the line, so you wouldn't have to move heavy machinery and like move it out of the way to be able to bring something in. You could just extend it and add the machinery that you needed at the time. So of course this was cost reducing because you didn't have to keep adding additional things. You could just open it up and add it in. And it was also time saving because once again you didn't have to take everything out and redo it. You could just open it up and add. So the Leipzig plant was opened in 2005. It featured open floor plan and large windows. So the Leipzig plant opened in 2005. It represents Clausen's vision of teamwork enhanced through the design of Kron's creative engineering concepts. So they just kind of wanted it to be open as well as, really pretty. So it has like pillars all through it with huge glass windows, and so the sun's just able to seep in. The design they quoted in here that the design looks more like an art museum than a car factory. So you have open workspaces that cascade over 2 sets of floors. Unfinished car bodies move along the track, and it runs above offices up into an open cafeteria, so once again everybody can communicate as a whole. The combination of togetherness and openness sparks impromptu dialogue among the workers. So they kind of added in there, which is a little cheesy, but you could kind of just be walking down the hall and say, "Hey, I'm glad I ran into you. I have an idea I want to bounce off of you." So if that's true, we don't know. So the next slide is just a image of the plant, which is a little blurry. I made it big on this TV. but you can kind of tell it has the big open windows. It's really nice. Has these huge pillars, big open workstations, so that you are able to just kind of communicate throughout the plant. Okay, so next I'm going to go over some their flexibility. So BMW excels in mastering complexity and tailoring cars to customers' taste. BMW buyers can select anything from the engine type to the color of the gear shift box to a limitless number of interior trims and all the different shades and everything. And this was shocking to me. They can even change their mind completely, redo everything as little as 5 days before production begins. And then there was another quote that I included from the article that says BMW drivers never change to other brands, which I have to say I have heard, like, when people drive BMWs, they kind of do stick with them for a good while if they ever change. Okay, so innovation. As mentioned before, BMW, unlike other big companies, uses a bottom-up approach opposed to a top-down approach. Unlike many car companies where design chief dictates a car's outline to the staff, BMW designs are given only a rough goal. So they're kind of given an end goal, but they're not given like steps or something that they have to follow all the way through. So otherwise they're able to come up with their best concept that they all agree on. To get the most out of the associates, BMW likes to bring together designers, engineer, and marketing experts all together on a single project. So it's not like you work on this, you work on this, you work on this. They all come together to complete the project as a whole. So an example of this, the redesign of the Rolls-Royce Phantom, for instance, was dubbed the Bank. And that's because there was 10 different members of the team, which, like I said, they're from the different departments. And they were at an old bank in, let's see where it says, in London's Marble Arch. So they were in an old bank, and because they worked on this all together, they termed the car the Bank. And it turns out that the Phantom is the best-selling and super luxury segment, which it outdoes the Bentley and the Mercedes and Maybach. Okay, some more about innovation. Much of BMW's innovation doesn't come via formal programs such as the Bank. In 2001, management decided to pull the plug on the disappointing Z3 Sports Coupe. So this is the newer one. I should have included the older one, but that's the newer one that I'll tell you about in just a second. But that didn't stop 33-year-old designer Sebastian Trusbach from doodling a sketch of what the Z3 successor might look like. So Brunick, which is the head of BMW's high-performance division, loved the idea. Brunick saw the car, and he saw it as a rival of the Porsche's Cayman, and at the time that was like their big rival. But they could produce it at a lower cost, but with the exact same performance. So he persuaded a few designers and engineers to carve out some time for the Renegade project. He gathered a team to map out the business case, and the small group worked for 10 months to build a prototype. And the Z4 Coupe sped to production in just 17 months, hitting the showroom in 2007. So that's pretty impressive that it only took about 4 or 5 years to completely redo the car, get a prototype out, and hitting the showroom. Okay. So in conclusion, just a little recap of BMW in general. They start with strong leadership styles. So the company is not just based on the leaders making all the decisions and it's kind of their way or no way. They bring in strong lines of communication and they want everyone as a whole to work together. BMW has continued to be a top competitor in the car industry. And we can all see that that's not without hard work and thought and, just kind of trying again until it works out right. The leaders of this company have developed an exceptional work environment through beautiful architect and enabling free-flowing thoughts and ideas throughout the organization. BMW will continue to be a successful business and a top competitor with such strong business and leader qualities in upper management. BMW seems like they would be an exceptional company to work for. And lastly, I just have my references. So that's it. I hope you guys learned a little bit about BMW. I know you see it, all day, every day on the streets, but now you know a little bit about the company as a whole. Thank you.